Good Sunday morning, friends. I'm at Pastor Bob Joyce's church, the Household of Faith, and it is still about 20 minutes before the church doors open this morning, and you see there's already quite a few cars here. There's one from Texas. We're from Tennessee. And when's the last time you have seen a crowd waiting for the church doors to open on a Sunday morning? How about that? We're going to be very respectful today and only do a little bit of recording, but I just wanted to share what I can of our experience with you. Say hi, Nanny.
Hi.
Hi.
Good morning.
Nanny's looking all pretty for Sunday morning service too. So we're going to go up here and chat with some of these people and see where everybody's from. Hello. So we didn't make it back until really late last night because after we left church service, we had to drive all the way back to Knoxville. So we were a little tired when we got home. So I'm going to finish this video today after we attended church service and music service yesterday. And there's so much that I would like to share. I'm sure I can't remember it all, but I'm going to show y'all some of the pictures that I took and some of the stuff that we bought while we were there. And just let you determine, through our experience maybe, is he who people think he is or is he not? So there's a table out front where his music was being sold, which he autographed for us in a fancy gold pen. We got 2 CDs. We got one of the pictures of him that he signed for us. And I got a pen, but I don't know what I did with my pen. It's around here somewhere. And I'll take y'all through a tour of a few of the pictures that I took before and after the service because we're not allowed to use our phones or cameras during the service, which is absolutely respectful. We're pretty sure that the pulpit was handmade. It was a very humble and handmade pulpit for him to stand behind. And we were right there in about the 3rd or 4th row. We were really close. Got to really get a good view of everything. And interestingly, how often do y'all see an American flag hanging in a church? I found that sort of interesting and very cool. Here's where he sits during the music service behind this beautiful, shiny baby grand. And I'm guessing those are probably his guitars because his guitarists had their own. The church building itself is quite humble. But to look at all of the music equipment, the instruments, the amplifiers, the speakers, they are all high dollar, really great stuff. You can tell that these people are all about their music. These are a couple of pictures of Gene Ho because Gene Ho was in the house yesterday and I keep seeing him show up on doing TikTok lives talking about Trump and stuff, and I know he was affiliated with Trump during his previous presidential campaigns, and Gene Ho's son, Cruz, who looks like he might be 10 years old, accompanies Pastor Bob on the guitar during music service. So I know that's part of why Gene Ho was there. And like I said, I don't know a whole lot about this guy, but I found it interesting that he was there. This is one little shot I got of Bob's wife, Walina, when she came in. She's a lovely little lady. This isn't the best picture of her, but before the service, he walked over to chat with her just a second and gave her a little peck on the lips, and it was just the sweetest thing. Here he's getting ready for their music service. They're starting to get everything set up. And I will say, he came into the sanctuary probably a good 15 minutes before service started. Went around, shook people's hands, introduced himself, asked for first-time visitors. He asked us where we were from. Very soft-spoken man, very kind, very attentive, pays attention to what you have to say. And because he was close enough to us for as long as he was, the one thing that people really seem to say when folks are asked, do y'all think Bob Joyce might be Elvis, is they say he's not nearly old enough. And in his pictures and on his YouTube videos of his sermons and all, I agree, he does not look that old. But when we were close up and me kind of taking a clinician's eye to it, there are a lot more lines on his face than what you usually see in his pictures. His hands and his arms have, some spots and things. They are not the hands and arms of a young man. His upper chest and shoulders, he's kind of lost some muscle mass here like you do as you get older. And the way he moves, just watching him move, walking, and he has a little bit of a gimp that maybe those hips just went around a few too many times when he was young and they're a little stiff now. But if I had to be asked as a clinician, could this man be in his late 80s? Absolutely. I truly believe he can be, because my mother is the same age that Elvis would be right now. And when I show y'all some pictures of the three of us shortly, you can ask yourself, could that older man and that older woman be the same age? Just another shot of his face as they were getting ready to start their music service. And I caught this right quick. This is after the service as Pastor Bob is starting to sign autographs and take pictures with the visitors. This fella spoke at the beginning of the service, just kind of opening up the service. He is very much not from Arkansas. He sounded like he was from New York City or Boston. Sort of a tough guy. And he looked a little familiar to me. He smiled a lot more. He's not smiling in this picture, but he was a happy fella. But he was sitting where Jean Ho was sitting, and another gentleman who came in who looked like he must have arrived on a motorcycle. He was in all black, very large, very built, very tough looking. And they sat on the side of the sanctuary near where Pastor Bob was, almost making me think he still has some people who watch after him or make sure that he's safe. Here he was signing our picture and our CDs while my mom was watching. And he stood and talked with us for several minutes, just like he did all of the rest of the visitors that were there. Asked us where we were from. We chatted a little bit. I told him I'd been watching his sermons on YouTube, and he said thank you so many times thank you for your prayers, thank you for coming, I hope you can come back. Such a kind and incredibly engaging human. And there we are. Again, both of the two people on the left could very well, my mother is 87, she'll be 88 in September, and that's the age that if this man was someone else a long time ago, that's the age he would be. So you guys can kind of compare. Could both of these older people be in their late 80s? And no, nobody has to comment about how old I look, okay? So what is my personal opinion of our visit? I can't tell you how much I truly enjoyed and felt blessed by the music service and the sermon. It was outstanding. When he entered the room, you could barely take your eyes off of him. He was just a presence, even though he was dressed casually and all, nothing fancy about him, but he was a presence. He preached for over an hour and I couldn't take my eyes off of him, especially when he came and stared right at me as he was talking. That was amazing. And there are not very many people in the world that I meet that then even 24 hours afterwards, I can't get them off my mind. That man is still on my mind. And as far as energy, I'm one of those empathic people that always pay attention to people's energy too. The energy that I got off of him was predominantly peace. This is a man that is at peace and very much enjoys where he is and what he's doing. So, do I think it's him? Yeah, I do. And the congregation there, I have never had a church congregation be so friendly and kind. I had so many people coming up, shaking our hands, welcoming us there, and it's almost like this little church kind of protects him as the treasure that he is and takes care of him and vets all of the visitors, just while we're there waiting for the service to start. So do I feel like it's him? Yeah. I feel like I touched an international superstar yesterday, and it was fantastic, and I can't wait to go back. So there's y'all's report from going to Pastor Bob Joyce's church for Sunday service. It was fantastic. If you ever have the opportunity to go, I highly, highly recommend it. There were people from all over the United States there, and somebody from Australia. How about that?